Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for this Women's for Winter 25-26 Fashion Week report. We are really happy that you join us to decrypt the season. I am Noémie Boyer, Fashion Curation Manager at Heuritech, and I will be presenting this webinar with Agatha Koplianiuk and Frida Tordrag.
Hi, my name is Agatha, and I'm the Senior Fashion Analyst at Heuritech.
And hello everyone, I am Frida and I'm a fashion analyst at Heuritech.
So first, let me introduce you briefly Heuritech and what we do. We quantify and forecast a trends adoption on social media, and we do it per geozone, age, and fashion level. So how do we do this concretely? So first, we are crossing fashion expertise with AI. That means that we will have to define some consumers panel based on their level of fashion. So are they edgy, trendy, or mainstream? Second, we use our algorithm on millions of pictures from the panels we already identify to detect all the attributes such as pants, tops, shoes, but also some fits, lengths, colors, etc. Then we are able to forecast adoptions of trends per age, geo, and fashion level for 12 or 24 months ahead. And then we display all these insights and more in our platform and our tailor-made reports. So this was to explain our process. So today we are all together to deep dive into the fall-winter 25-26 fashion week for women. And we're gonna compare the visibility of the trend seen on the runway with real consumer adoption forecast for Europe and women. So now let's have an understanding of the key influence of the season, which is bold nostalgia. So Frida, could you explain these main concepts for us, please?
Yes, of course. So bold nostalgia is a combination of influences from the past together with this more daring spirit that matches our modern days. And it is about making fashion fun again and in this joyful way that we have been longing for. The style feels effortless yet intentional, and bold nostalgia is about tapping into the joy of dressing up and the thrill of experimenting and the confidence that comes with doing that. Fashion is always reflected and affected by outside circumstances, and the world is experiencing turbulence right now, and as a reflection, fashion is becoming more lively. But on the other hand, due to this turbulence, brands are also relying on things that have worked well in the past, which leads us to the nostalgia that has influenced this season.
So, Agatha, is there any specific decade that is referred to this season?
There isn't really one decade that defined the season. We've seen designers take inspiration from their house's 90s collection, like Calvin Klein returned to the runway at New York Fashion Week. And at Saint Laurent, even though the collection was inspired by the same decade, the house was pretty démodé back then. So the looks still feel very 80s coded with bold colors, strong shoulders, and reverse triangle silhouettes. What else? Miuccia Prada served a 50s granny looks at Miu Miu in a two-piece suit that looked like it was taken straight from Jackie Kennedy's 60s closet was one of the star trends of the season. And of course, there were plenty of inspirations from the noughties, proving that Y2K is alive and well. Yeah, and one of the Y2K trends that we spotted is baby blue, one of the key macro trends from London Fashion Week. So in our report, we analyzed runways from 4 fashion capitals: New York, London, Milan, and Paris. And in the full report, you can find the key trends for other cities as well. But today, we would like to show you the insights from London and how the different decades influenced English runways. So baby blue, the color that was loved by 2000 celebrities, is back on satin dresses and jackets with 2% runway share, and more than doubled presence versus fall/winter 24. And then next macro trend from London are sequins that we observed in 3% of the looks during London Fashion Week. And the way they were used on dresses and total looks is really the great Gatsby old Hollywood 20s glamour. And then the last one, checked, that saw 6% runway share. The pattern has been coming back in trend across different decades, whether classic and preppy or more punk and grungy. And this season, we get a bit of both. Because what else would we expect to see in London, the home of Burberry and the Sex Pistols? And speaking of rock stars,
we welcome you to the very first theme of this webinar, the Rockstar Seduction Edit. I hope I seduced you all, Haider Ackerman declared after presenting his collection for Tom Ford. And indeed he did, along with a bunch of other designers, all delivering looks that were both rocky, bold, and brave. And for this theme, the spotlight is on an effortlessly rebellious spirit and a bit of I couldn't care less attitude. The looks are understated, yet they evoke a sense of nostalgia for the edgy fashion we once admired. And these outfits exude sexiness, but not through overt reveals, but through confidence, where the wearing is stepping into a room and truly commanding it.
So Frida, this aesthetics reminds me a bit of the Midnight Mechanics theme we had for men for the latest fashion week. So would you say they are similar?
That is correct. And if you haven't checked out our Men's Fashion Week report yet, I truly suggest you all to do so. The Midnight Mechanic theme shared a similar color palette to this theme, but the men's theme led into a more motorsport aesthetic, while this particular theme takes on a more rock-infused edge. And I would say that the difference is how the colors are combined. And one thing that stood out on the women's runway this year were the pairing of darker hues as black and steel gray together with carmine red, and these colors were often combined within a single look. So this color blocking way of styling created really sharp contrasts, and the use of these two colors reflected a sense of strength that will turn heads. We also, for this theme, have the fall favorite burgundy, and for this report, we have combined the forecasted data for fall and winter 25-26, and burgundy will be something that we can expect to see even more of during this period, with an estimated growth of plus 38%. Leather, lace, and see-through, there we got the magic combo for these daring looks. See-through with a projected growth in visibility of plus 3%, and a big magnitude has a great market opportunity among trendy consumers. Christian Dior and Nina Ricci included dresses in their collection with see-through fabrics, allowing glimpses of lingerie to peek through. McQueen embraced a similar approach, but used lace instead. And looking into fine lace, it has a projected growth of plus 13%. And finally, we have brands like Hermes and Tom Ford that stayed true to their signature boldness by presenting full looks in thick, luxurious leather. The Rockstar Seduction prints consist of pinstripe, which mostly is associated with suits and business attire. However, on the runway this year, it took on new forms. And Dem Julmeister showcased pinstripe in a sleek matching two-piece set paired with bold pilot sunglasses. Meanwhile, Coperni styled a pinstripe miniskirt with a daring leather top. And pinstripe is estimated to increase plus 6% among the actual consumer during this season. Another trend that caught the eye was the use of fringes. Even though it's not a print itself, this detail made a strong statement across multiple collections. So it's time for the key shapes. The list is long for brands including these mesmerizing dresses on the runway, and it looks like the actual consumer will be following the trend as well. See-through maxi dresses are considered being a consistent riser with an estimated growth of plus 24% during the upcoming fall-winter, and these dresses stand for femininity, sensuality, and sophistication, while still maintaining this daring and brave look. Hot pants took the fashion industry by storm a few years ago, and they're still considered being a rising star that keeps growing in terms of forecasted visibility. During the runway, designers were featuring even shorter, more slim-fitting silhouettes, ensuring that legs take center stage on the runway. The majority of the brand styled with a matching top, making it almost look like a play suit. The fall season always means dusting off the leather jacket, and this season is no exception. However, on the runway this season, a shoulder-enhancing silhouette was spotted that gave modernity to the shape. Bold and structured shoulders were featured on the jacket, which here again screams confidence. The traditional matte finishes gave way to sleeker, high-glossed leathers, and a more oversized fit replaced snug-fitting styles. The first relevant accessory for this theme is lace stockings. Brands like Isabel Marant, Balenciaga, and Valentino, among others, all showcased lace stocking on the runway, which adds a touch of softness and toughness at the same time. We also have the lace-up details. Even though the name includes lace, it doesn't have anything to do with the fabric. And a lace-up detail is when laces or strings are threaded through holes or loops on clothing, shoes, or in this case, accessories. This details adds a cheeky, almost cocky vibe into a piece, and the result is a look that looks equal parts bold and undeniably cool. Finally, we got the pilot sunglasses. And as mentioned, around this theme, and the pilot sunglasses are really the cherry on top.
Okay, thank you, Frida. So let's summarize this aesthetic with a starter pack. So you told that the key color palette is to contrast darks like black and steel gray with burgundy and carmine red. And it is through tough and sensual silhouettes. The toughness is also seen on fabrics like leather and is combined to sensual see-through and fine lace. Regarding details and accessories, we saw that there was an extra splash of boldness with laced stockings and lace-up details. And regarding prints, we saw that plains is important, but pinstripes are twisted out of the business wear, and that also the new provocative and fierce detail in this aesthetic is brought by fringed detail. And you mentioned that the key shapes are see-through dresses, hot pants, and leather jackets. So the rockstar seduction was all about boldness and sensuality. And we'll see that the next theme also plays with archetypal symbols of sensuality, like fur and animal prints. But yet it's really, really different. So Agatha, we also saw a lot of fur and animal prints last season. What is the twist for fall-winter 25-26?
So these two most prominent trends of the season meet in Wild Opulence, a story about maximalism and extravagance. And not in the well-known mob wife way. It's more about that rawness that the fabric and the print evoke. It's still decadent, but it's more sophisticated.
I see. And I clearly see also the nature inspiration in this aesthetic, and also all the browns and earthy tones. And we all know that Pantone released their color of the year, which is Mocha Mousse. So what does Heuritech data say about browns for fall winter?
So we're analyzing key colors of the Wild Opulence with coffee brown as this richer shade and camel that's more on the neutral side. We can confidently say that brown palette is here to stay. So in our module, we have 12 different shades of brown, and the average growth is 12%, with darker shades like coffee brown growing around 20%. And I would also like to highlight carmine red. In this theme, it's not used for color blocking, but it serves as a perfect background to animal prints and lax fabrics, adding more opulence to balance the rawness. And then the star of the show, fur. It was seen in almost 10th of all looks that we analyzed. And across all runways, we analyzed more than 8,000 looks. So there's no doubt that the formerly controversial fabric is now a favorite among designers. And we can expect to see more innovation as the search for the perfect real fur alternative that is neither animal nor plastic based continues. Because consumers will be reaching out more and more for fur, we've forecasted 25% increase in trend adoption in fall-winter 25. And in wild opulence, these luxurious fabrics take center stage in everything from coats to accessories, enhancing the theme's lavish aesthetic. And then to contrast, we have mesh that adds a touch of sensuality that plays against the rawness of the fur. And as for plain leather, it grounds the collection, elevating accessories from belts and bags to opera gloves. And for prints, even though leopard continues to be the most popular among animal prints, it's no longer alone. Other patterns such as cow print, zebra, snakeskin, or are forecasted to grow by double digits with a big magnitude. So animal prints are a must-have in any collection. Exactly which ones, that is up to a creative vision of designers.
Yes, because as you said, the most visible animal print during the fashion show was leopard. And I see also you added the data point of animal prints as a whole. It's also because we can detect several animal prints within one family. So for me, it's the occasion to say that we recently retrained our prints and fabrics module. We enrich it with novelties, but also granularity. So in our platform, you can monitor the behavior and the forecast on zebra, cow print, tiger print, snake prints, etc. So all these prints, you all see them in the shows, right, Agatha?
Exactly. And we invite our clients to dive more into detailed animal prints on our market trends platform. And back to the theme and moving on to key shapes, it wouldn't be a maximalism without a maxi coat. For wild opulence, it brings drama, whether for shape, print, or fabric, or all at once, as in Roberto Cavalli's collection. Maxi coats are a stable trend, and with big magnitude, they are no-brainer to invest into. The key is to make them relevant for the season. So remember about the wild opulence. The next key shape are fur tops, and this is how you add extravagance. My personal favorite, the sculptural design from Alaya, but the rawness from Simon Rocha and seduction from Vaquera deserve all the praises as well. And lastly, we have slitted skirts. There are a couple of ways to approach this trend. You can iterate with fabrics or print, or you can look into Simon Rocha and experiment with the shape.
So Agatha, I saw a lot of these paneled slit skirts. And would you say it's a good idea to modernize the classic slit skirts?
Absolutely. We can see the forecasted decline in slitted skirts. However, with big magnitude and trendy and edgy key audiences, consumers will be looking for excitement in the classic shapes. And then finishing up the theme with key accessories. So pouch bags stood out in the theme as they are more practical bag choice, because with the maxi silhouettes, it would be difficult to wear a shoulder bag. And here again, designers experimented with the fabrics, showcasing fur and exotic leather, and with a print, animal print, of course. And if you were to have only one accessory for the fall-winter season, I'd recommend a fur stole. It's a perfect, versatile piece that you can just throw on over your shoulders with a sleeve dress, tailoring, or a sleeveless top. It always looks chic and adds a dash of white opulence to your outfit, even the simplest one. And lastly, a wrap leather belt, just to tame your outfit and to add structure.
Okay, so same, let's summarize this aesthetic with the starter pack. So we see that organic tones, and particularly browns, are important this season, with coffee brown and camel and carmine red. Regarding the fabrics, as you mentioned, fur is the most visible, seen in maximalist designs, both for garments and accessories. And we have also mesh and plain leather that add a sleek balance to this extravaganza. So regarding prints, so we detected various animal prints, as we mentioned. The most visible was leopard, and snake, zebra, and cow prints are the next in line. And for accessories, as you said, furs is seen as well on stoles and pouches, and we also saw leather pouches and wrap belts, key shapes, maxi coats, fur tops, and slitted skirts. So these were the two among four themes we analyzed for fall-winter 25-26, and you will find the complete report in our platform. So now, let's talk about cross-aesthetics trends. Frida, what are the most visible trends across all cities?
Let me tell you. So, a standout trend for this season was frill. And frills are popular in historical fashion and adds the stunning balance of elegance and playfulness to clothing. Fendi introduced a sophisticated matching set featuring a peplum-inspired blazer that was paired with a frilled skirt. Dior followed, incorporating ruffled frills into its matching set for a romantic and feminine aesthetic. Meanwhile, Chanel refined the trend with a modern twist, showcasing tailored pants adorned with side frills. And on this slide, you're also able to see a sneak the chic cavalier and undone cool. This is also considered being a star trend since it's featured in many different aesthetics. Frills adds movement, texture, and a touch of drama into the garment that we can expect to see more of during the upcoming season.
And this season was also print heavy with checked animal prints, pinstripes, and another one that stood out were small dots. And with their playful vibe, they complement the mood of the season. Forecasted to increase 13%, they embody joyful nostalgia across different styles and aesthetics. And let's lean a bit more into our data. So thanks to our computer vision technology, we are able to analyze more than 20,000 trends with a different granularity and pinpoint the ones that are worth investing into. So we look at fall-winter 25 runway share and relative growth to fall-winter 24, and by applying a weighted score, we were able to categorize the trends into emerging and established ones. So the bubble size is reflecting runway share for this season. So you can see that even though animal prints really stood out with high growth and significant market share, small dots are an also noteworthy trend to include into your collections for the season.
Okay, so for the key takeaway of the season, we saw that first, even though quiet luxury and minimalism are still there is a noticeable shift toward more prints, more colors, and extravagant shapes. And second, and similarly to men's fall-winter 25-26, we identify the comeback of humor and self-expression. This concept will be also seen in the two other themes of the season, which are the chic cavalier and the undone cool, that are part of the complete report. So in conclusion, this season's bold nostalgia, emphasizing on having fun with fashion, play with past references, and make it your own. So thank you very much, Agatha and Frida, for all these insights, and I hope everyone had a good understanding of the season. And now, if you are interested into booking a demo, you can already flash the QR code in the slide and get an appointment. So we really want to thank you for being with us, and we wish you a very pleasant evening. Thank you, and bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.